Radiohead, Amnesiac. Wait.
Hey guys, what the fuck's up, you guys? My name is emandan642, and welcome to Kid A B-Sides, also known as Amnesiac. Before I start, I just want to say, in October and November so far, I've been uploading videos in between the reviews. I'm still focusing on reviews, but for now, I'll do skit videos and other kind of videos every once in a while, but at least for the time being, I'm focusing on reviews and getting them out every week. In the future, when I have more time and resources, I can make them better, the skits and the reviews. I will make more skit videos and lore in the future. Okay, this album was recorded alongside Kid A, but the unreleased material was so good that Radiohead released the unreleased material as Amnesiac. This album definitely does not feel like a bunch of B-sides, but also kind of does. These songs are really good. They have a different feel than Kid A, but have the same kind of experimental sound. The biggest issue I and many others have is that the album feels more like a collection of 11 songs rather than an album. What I mean is that OK Computer and Kid A told a story through the songs. There was a flow and reason for the track list. This album lacks that. Obviously it was B-sides from the Kid A sessions, but to me at least, an album needs to have a good flow from one track to the next. Don't get me wrong, every song off this album is great, but as a whole, plus to me at least, there wasn't a standout track per se, like a track or few that I could definitely say this one or ones are the best off the album. Other Radiohead albums have at least a few tracks I could definitely say are my favorites off the album, or even favorites by Radiohead in general. The closest thing that the album has to that is, I'd say, Pyramid Song, which is a fantastic song, or Life in a Glass House, which I'd say is my favorite song off the album, and is another amazing song by Radiohead. But Radiohead just has that many amazing songs. Another problem I have with Amnesiac is it doesn't really have its own identity as much as any other of the Radiohead albums, except for King of Limbs, but we don't really talk about that. Every other Radiohead album, even Pablo Honey, has a distinct personality and identity to it. I guess this plays into these songs not having the same smooth, planned transitions to it that the other Radiohead albums have, but still. Amnesiac still has a lot of good things going for it though. This is a very, very good album. Amnesiac is very electronic, just like Kid A, but it's more subtle compared to Kid A. Aside from songs like Pull Revolving Doors or like Spinning Plates, which feel right off Kid A. They have the same IDM intensity that Idiotech off of Kid A has. Aside from those songs, the rest of the album is a mixture of electronics and synths with actual instruments. Kid A was mostly electronic, right? With bits of what I called human elements to add depth to it. Kinda like this human versus technology thing. OK Computer was themed more with that in mind, but that was really just themes and lyrics. With Kid A, it was more so with sound. More songs are electronic. With Amnesiac, it's the opposite. Still a lot of electronic sounds, but really most of the album is more artsy, I guess, with, again, actual instruments. Aside from those two songs, most of the album is more human, I guess you could say. Those two songs hit when they come in, because when compared to the rest of the album, they are so much different. which can be a good or bad thing when you look at it. I know I complained about the album's inconsistency, but they are awesome songs nonetheless.
This album makes me want to be an amnesiac.
That's not funny. You shouldn't joke about that kind of stuff. Yeah. Fuck. The album starts off with the very Kid A sounding packed like sardines in a crushed tin box. The song starts with these metal sounding drums, not the genre metal, but like it sounds like Phil is hitting actual metal. The repetitive snare pattern comes in along with these warm synths. Pyramid Song, like I said, is a masterpiece, a beautiful, beautiful piano ballad. Tom's harmonious vocals and Phil's amazing drumming add so much to this dense, layered track. The fucking drumming, man. It contrasts so well with the piano. They are going at two different fucking tempos and it's so cool to hear. Radiohead doesn't write songs in odd time signatures too often, but when they do, oh man, you know you're in for a treat. The song has this fleeting feeling like it's going to slip away at any time. The first time I heard Polk Pole Revolving Doors, I was shocked. Yes, it was really weird coming after the beautiful ballad, Pyramid Song, but I've never heard anything like this before from Radiohead, and it was weird. It sounds like something straight off of I Care Because You Do by Aphex Twin. It's so dark and chilling. You and Whose Army is another one of Radiohead's amazing come moment songs, or songs that build up to this epic climax. Except this song is a lot shorter than the other come moment songs. And the climax comes a lot earlier and much more unexpectedly than the other songs. It's a different type of song, but a welcome one. Knives Out feels very Radiohead-like. Like it's the most Radiohead-like song off Amnesiac. But knowing Radiohead, that can mean anything. The sporadic drums and guitars mesh together so well. They sound like fluent sound waves just flowing. Just flowing. A different recording of Morning Bell, which was a Kid A song, was released on Amnesiac. This reworked version was different enough that it was included on Amnesiac. Personally, I like the Kid A version better, but this one is still very good. I wish Radiohead and other bands did this more because it's so cool to hear songs in different ways like this. Radiohead has done this a handful of times and it's always really interesting. A lot of bands add something to a song or change something when played live, and I really like that. The closer, Life in a Glass House, like I said before, is my favorite track of the album. Radiohead always manages to write such amazing album closers. This song is very different to anything the band has ever written. It was recorded separately from the rest of the Kid A and Amnesiac songs. This is an old-timey jazz tune, accompanied with Radiohead's needed dread and paranoia. I love the trumpets on the song. It really brings life into this cold, bitter song. The album has a great mixture of many different styles of music and genres. I may not like the album as a whole as much as other Radiohead albums, but just like those albums, every song off this album is great. Many people don't like Radiohead's more experimental side, and many people only like Radiohead's more experimental side. I think Amnesiac is a good mixture of both. I wouldn't say it's the best of both worlds, but like I keep saying, the songs on here are great. I am going to give Radiohead's Amnesiac a 7 out of 10. Any Radiohead fan should listen to this album. I've heard many dividing opinions on this album. Some say it's better than Kid A. Some say it's an unfinished mess. I like this album quite a bit. Obviously not nearly as much as Kid A, but still a great record. This album manages to be overrated and underrated at the same time. You decide your opinion. This has been Radiohead's Amnesiac. Fuck you.